Once in a quiet, unassuming town, there was a small, dilapidated house at the end of a winding, overgrown path. It had been abandoned for years, its windows boarded up and its garden choked with weeds. Local children whispered tales of a ghost haunting the place, but no one dared to venture near, except for a curious young woman named Claire. Claire had always been fascinated by the macabre. One evening, drawn by the thrill of the unknown, she decided to explore the old house. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of adventure, she pushed open the creaking gate and stepped onto the property. Each step toward the door felt heavy, as if the air around her was thick with the weight of unspoken secrets. Inside, the house was dark and musty, filled with the scent of decay. Dust danced in the beam of her flashlight as she wandered through the rooms, taking in the remnants of a life once lived. Old photographs hung crookedly on the walls, their subjects long forgotten. But one picture caught her eye. A family portrait, the faces smudged but still eerily vivid. As she examined it, she felt a chill run down her spine. Something about the eyes of the man in the photograph seemed to follow her. Shaking off the feeling, Claire moved deeper into the house, her heart racing with excitement and fear. Suddenly, she heard a noise, a soft thud echoing from the basement. Against her better judgment, she felt compelled to investigate. The basement door creaked open, revealing a staircase that descended into darkness. With each step down, the temperature dropped and the air grew thick with an unsettling energy. At the bottom, Claire found herself in a dimly lit room filled with shadows. The walls were lined with old furniture and boxes, but what caught her attention was a large, old trunk in the corner. Compelled by an inexplicable urge, she approached it, her hands trembling as she reached for the latch. As she opened the trunk, the light from her flashlight illuminated its contents: old clothes, faded toys, and at the very bottom, a blood-stained knife wrapped in a tattered cloth. Claire gasped, her mind racing. What had happened in this house? Who did the knife belong to? Suddenly, the basement door slammed shut with a deafening bang. Panic surged through her as she turned to find herself not alone. The man from the photograph stood before her, his face twisted in a horrific expression of rage. "You shouldn't have come here," he growled, his voice a low rumble that vibrated through the room. Claire stumbled back, her heart pounding. "What do you want?" she gasped, backing away from the figure. He took a step closer and she could see the blood on his hands, fresh and glistening in the dim light. "You've uncovered my secret," he hissed, his eyes ablaze with fury. "Now you must pay the price." In that moment, Claire understood the terrifying truth. The stories of the house were not mere whispers. They were warnings. The man was a murderer, his spirit bound to the place where he had committed his horrific act. And now he had claimed her as his next victim. With a surge of adrenaline, Claire turned and ran for the stairs. But the shadows seemed to reach out for her, pulling her back into the darkness. The last thing she heard was the echo of his laughter, chilling and triumphant, as the door to the basement closed behind her, sealing her fate.